Good morning. Good morning, children. Good morning, Auntie.
So after a while, we are meeting again today. So yeah, today there is less participation. I think it's because of Sunday and many people have gone out of Colombo maybe, right?
Yes,
Because
Auntie, I think most of them
right?
have got holidays.
Yes, so that's okay, no problem. So Auntie Nawada, how are you?
Good, Auntie, good. How are you?
I'm good. So now I'm not in Japan, so I'm back in Sri Lanka. So I'm meeting you all from Sri Lanka. So yeah, it's nice to be here again, like after 2 years. And so today we are going to talk about, I like frogs. I really like frog. One of the most amazing creatures for me. So do you like frogs, little ones?
Those who like frogs, put your hands up. Let's see how many of you all like frogs. Okay, very good. Liasa likes frogs.
Okay, so we are going to listen to another. Okay, nice. So amazing story about frogs, because frogs are very important wetland animal, aren't they, right? So they are living in wetlands and as well as in the water bodies mostly. So Auntie Nawada is here today with us as usual to tell you an amazing folk story about frogs. So are you ready to listen?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so let's begin, Auntie Nawada. So let's start
Okay.
the story.
Okay, right. Thank you, Auntie. So welcome, everyone. It's good to see all of you again. Okay, and this is something that we are really looking forward to every month, to see you all and then, talk about a nice wetland animal. Now, this time, you know what it is going to be, right? What's the animal I have in the background?
Frog.
A frog, yes. Do you know the sound that the frogs make?
Repeat.
Yes, that's what you learn, right? They go ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Can you all make that sound? Can you all make that sound? The ribbit sound? Yes.
Ribbit.
Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. And have you all heard the real frogs? I mean, the real frogs at night?
No, teacher.
Yes?
No, teacher.
No. Okay. So if you are near a, if you live near a paddy field, most of the times if you can hear a lot of froggy sounds. Okay. And also now, when is the last time you saw a frog? Think and see. When did you see a frog?
At the Asaru Park.
Ah, that's nice. When did you go to the Asaru Park, Kavindu? Recently.
Time now.
Long time ago. Okay, I think then it's time that you make another visit. Yes, in the Asaru Park, I have seen a lot of big green frogs. There's this bridge and then there's a small, I think that kind of a waterway there, so that you can see a lot of big frogs, big ones. I mean it, big ones on leaves. So you all should go there and see them. Okay, and there are so many of them there. Okay. So, right now today's story is definitely going to be about frogs. Okay. Now this is about a very special frog. And do you know the name of this frog? What's the name of this frog? What's the name of the frog in the story? Tilddalick. What's his name?
Tilddalick.
Tilddalick. Can all of you say the name out loud? What's the name of the frog?
Tilddalick.
Tilddalick. Yes, Tilddalick. And do you know from where we have found this story? Where is it originated? Where is this story from? Any guesses? Now, you know that we bring stories from all around the world, right? We have read stories from different countries in the world. Now, this story is all the way from Australia. Okay? So, this is a story from Australia, and also it is an Aboriginal story. That means, now do you know what Aboriginal means?
No.
Aboriginal? No? Okay, now Aboriginal people are the ones who lived in a country before the colonists arrived. Now, you know that time to time, long time ago, right? People go exploring, some rich countries, they go and then they capture small countries, not just small countries. I mean, they just go and capture other countries and then they make colonies, right? But sometimes there have been people still, living there, okay? So those people, those who originally lived on a land are called Aboriginal people. Now here also we have an Aboriginal community. Do you know who they are? We call them Vedas, right? So they are actually the Aboriginal people in Sri Lanka. So likewise in Australia also there's an Aboriginal community. Okay, so they have different beautiful stories, right? Like in our culture, we have different stories. In their culture, there are a lot of different stories, unique stories. So the story about Tilddalick is an Aboriginal story from Australia. Okay, now in this story, you will be able to see a lot of native animals to Australia as well. Okay. So we are going to take a look at the story of Tilddalick, the frog. Okay, and let's get started. So once upon a time, okay, a long time ago, there lived a frog called Tilddalick. Okay, now Tilddalick lived in a place called Wollombi Valley. Okay, so you will hear some different names in this story, okay, names that you have not heard before. So that is a place in Australia, like it's a valley, they call it Wollombi Valley, okay. And the thing about Tilddalick was that he was very greedy. He was a greedy frog. Do you know the meaning of greedy? Who is greedy? Greedy kiyane mokada? What is greedy? Are you all greedy? Is it a good thing to, is it a good habit? Is it a good manner? No, right? Greedy means you want to have everything, like you want to have everything, even food or whatever it is, you want to have a lot of it, right? Even sometimes, even when you're full, if you want to have a lot more food, then you are a bit greedy, okay? So that's the meaning of greedy. So now Tilddalick was a greedy frog, right? And he wanted to be the biggest frog in the Wollombi Valley, right? Now, how big are the frogs? How big can the frogs be? Can they be as big as elephants? No, right? No. So they are quite small when you think about it, right? But there are quite big frogs. But when you think about it, it's a small animal, isn't it? So he wanted to be the biggest frog in the Wollombi Valley. Okay. So on one hot day, now this frog Tilddalick, he was very thirsty. Now when it's very sunny and hot, we all feel thirsty, right? So Tilddalick was also very thirsty. He went looking for water. And then when he wandered down to the billabong, now do you know what a billabong is? Now that's another word that you hear in Australian stories, Aboriginal stories.
No.
What's a billabong? No? Okay. So billabong is a small, a lake kind of a thing, right? Okay, a water body. So it's kind of very wet and very nice and wet in that area. Okay, so billabong is a small lake kind of a thing. Okay, so there was plenty of water in the billabong. So whenever the animals were thirsty, that's where they went to take a drink, right? Now, you know that. Now, how do you drink water at home? Do you have a billabong at home? No, right? You take water from the filter, or you have that guruletu or something at home, or a kale. Have you all got one of those? Yes. Then you can have a very nice, drink. Yes. Okay. Kavidul has one. Very good. So now when the animals want to drink water, where do they go? They go to the billabong. So that's a place that they share a drink. Okay. So whenever they are thirsty, they go to the billabong and then they drink water. Now Tilddalick was very thirsty and he went, and he was a very greedy frog. So can you imagine what he did? What did he do? He drank all the water in the billabong. Okay. So he drank and drank and drank. And then he became actually very big, because now the Now all the water in the billabong was inside him. And was there any water left in the billabong?
No.
No, it was all dried up, right? All the water in the billabong was gone. Now, when the other animals came to have a drink, okay, they discovered that there was no water left. What has Tilddalick done? Tilddalick මොකද කරලා තියෙන්නේ? එයා වතුර සේරම ටික බීලා දැන් වතුර පොඩ්ඩක්වත් නැහැ, වතුර පොදක්වත් නැහැ ඒ ලේක් එකේ. Okay? And then they were so hot and they were very thirsty. Now, Australia can be sometimes very extreme, right? So there are places that it's very hot and you need to drink some water if you want to survive. So they were very thirsty. But was there any water to drink for the other animals? No. So they knew that it was the greedy Tilddalick who had drank all the water. Now, they saw Tilddalick, sitting there with all the water inside his tummy, and he was quite big. So they knew that, okay, now this greedy frog must have drunk all the water. Because you know that Tilddalick was famous for his greediness, right? And they became very angry. Now they were thirsty and it was hot. And when you are hungry or thirsty, and also when it is very hot, naturally you become very angry as well, right? Don't you? Yes? No? When you are hungry, don't you get angry too?
Yes.
Yes, we all are, right? When you are hungry and you are thirsty, you sometimes become very cranky and angry. So the same thing happened to these animals. Okay. So what do you think they did? Any ideas? Now, how to get the water back into the billabong? Now, if you were one of those animals, what would you do? What would you do? Any suggestions? Any ideas? No? Oh dear, then if you were there, you would have, you wouldn't be able to drink any water. Now the animals thought and thought and thought. Now they wanted to get some water to drink. Okay. So what they thought was, okay, they thought that we should go and talk to the wise owl. Now owls are very wise, aren't they? They have a lot of knowledge about everything. And in stories, they are the wisest animals. Right? They don't talk much, but they are very observant, right? So they thought we should go and get some ideas from the owl. We should get some advice from the owl. So when they went to owl said, okay, the only way to get Tilddalick to bring back the water is to make him laugh, right? So if you make him laugh, then the water will come out. Okay. Now, has that happened to you? Now, while you are drinking water and when your mouth is full with water, and if someone comes and does a funny thing, and then what happens to the water? You will just, the water will come out, right? It will go in your nose and everywhere, but still it will come out. You will not be able to swallow it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, agree?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what the owl thought the animals to do. He thought, okay, you all make him laugh. Then only you can get the water back into the billabong. Now, how to make Tilddalick laugh? Now, how can you make someone laugh? Any ideas?
No.
Maybe you can tickle them, but I think they didn't try that first. Now, there was another animal called echidna. Have you heard about echidna? If you were interested about animals in Australia, the animals who live in Australia, endemic to Australia, you would have come across echidna. Now, echidna is a spiky animal, okay, like the ittava or the hedgehog, okay, the porcupine hedgehog. This is like an anteater, but then it has a lot of spikes on its body, okay. So it can roll into a ball. It's an animal who can roll into a ball. So what did echidna do? He said, okay, I will make you laugh. And then he went to the top of the hill and then he turned himself into a ball and then he rolled down the hill. Or do you think Tilddalick laughed? No. Tilddalick didn't laugh. Okay, so first Echidna tried, but then Tilddalick didn't laugh. Oh, now what to do? Now then came another animal. Then came the kookaburra. Have you heard about kookaburra? Now kookaburra is another native animal, another endemic animal to Australia. Kookaburra, have you heard? It's a bird and it goes like this. Can you try that? Would you like to, sound like a kookaburra? Can you do that? Try it, everyone. Yes, okay. So it's a very loud animal actually, okay. So kookaburra, who was perched high up in the gum tree, pretended to fall out. Okay, so he just pretended that, okay, he was perching on a tree and then he was pretending to fall out of the tree. But do you think it made Tilddalick laugh?
No.
No, it didn't work either. It didn't work either. And then the wombat came. Okay, now wombat is another animal you can find in Australia. Okay, so wombat started dancing some very funny moves. Can you all think of the funny moves that he did? Can you all dance like a wombat? Yes? Can everyone dance like a wombat? Can you do some funny moves? Shall I see some funny moves? Yes, everyone dance like a wombat. You can make even funny faces if you want. But do you think Tilddalick laughed? It didn't work either. No, it didn't work. It didn't work. Now what to do? Any other suggestions? Do you have any ideas?
Tickle him.
Tickle him. That's the thing. No one tried that. No one thought of tickling him. Okay. So no one thought of tickling him. But then there was the eel. You know what an eel is? Have you seen eels?
Yes.
Yes. What does it look like? What kind of an animal is that? And where does it live? Eel lives in the water.
Fish.
Yes, it's a kind of fish and it's very thin and long, isn't it? Eel is, අපි කියන්නේ සිංහලෙන් ආඳා කියලා. ආඳා and එයා ලිස්සනවා නිකන් ලිස්සන සතෙක්. And එයා නිකන් හරියට සර්පෙක් වගේ දිගයි. Okay. So now eel thought, okay, wait, I will make him laugh. And then he decided to give it a try. He danced and danced. Now he started dancing. Now eel is a very slippery animal. So it danced and danced. Can you all dance like an eel? Can you all show me how to dance like an eel? Just think that your body is very long and, very slippery. And how do you dance then? Yes, very good. And then, you know what happened to it? It kind of knotted itself because it was a long one. Now think that you get a long piece of string and then you just turn it here, there and just do something like that. Then what will happen? It will become a knot. So that's what happened to the eel. Okay. So he danced and danced and danced and tied himself into a big knot. Suddenly, what did they notice? They noticed that Tilddalick's mouth was starting to move. Now he had a lot of water in his mouth, like this, okay? And then, yes, can you all show how it looked like? Think that there's a lot of water inside you. You look like, yes. And then suddenly his mouth started to move like this. Okay, and then he was watching the eel tying himself up into a knot, and all of a sudden he could not stop laughing. And then what happened? He laughed out loud. By looking at the eel, yes, like that, just like that, Kavita. So he was like that, he laughed out loud. And what happened to all the water?
Came out.
Yes, the water came out from his mouth and then it filled the billabong again. Okay, and now all the animals had water to drink. Now from that day onwards, Tilddalick learned his lesson. Okay, So he was never greedy again. I think he must have, had a very good scolding from the other animals as well, right? So from then on, he drank only what he needed. Okay. And that's the end of the story. And that's how the Tilddalick, the frog, drank the water and then spat it out again. Okay. Now, did you like the story? Is it different from stories that you have heard before?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
So what's your favorite part in the story? And what's your favorite character? Now, you saw different animals in the story. So can you tell me what animal was your favorite?
Owl. The eel.
Owl. Okay, one by one. We'll go one by one. Okay, yes, Dinudi, what's your favorite animal? Owl. Okay. Why do you like owl?
He's very wise.
He's very wise, right? He gave a very good advice, right? Finally, they could get the water into the billabong. Very good. What about others? Havindul, what's your favorite animal?
The eel.
The eel. Why do you like the eel?
Because he do like this.
Because he danced and danced and danced and tied himself into a knot.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Liansa, what about you? What's your favorite animal in the story? Yes. Now there was, okay, let me remind you because some of the animals are like, they have different names. There was echidna, the spiky one, and then there was the kookaburra who goes cuckoo, cuckoo, kaka. That one. And the other one was the eel.
Eel.
You like the eel? And then there was the wombat and Tilddalick the frog. So which one do you like? And the owl. Yeah?
Kookaburra.
Kookaburra. Why do you like the kookaburra?
Because
It goes cuckoo, cuckoo, kaka. Yes? Can you do that and show how to do that? Can you try it? Okay, good. How about Onali? Onali, what's your favorite animal?
Kookaburra.
Kookaburra. Okay, why do you like kookaburra?
They're cute.
They are cute. Okay. Vinod, what about you? Others also cute? Yeah. Huh? Yes, Ashini, you like the frog?
Yes.
Okay, good. So why do you like the frog?
He jumped.
Because he can jump. Yes. Now, shall we all just take a minute to jump like frogs? Would you like to jump like frogs? Can you jump like frogs? Yes. Ribbit, you can make the froggy sound also. Come on, everyone, jump like frogs, please. Very good. Okay. That's very good. Thank you. Nice. Okay. Auntie, do you have a favorite animal? I think your favorite animal is the frog. Yes.
Yeah, I love frogs.
You love frogs. I love the frogs and dear Sarupa. I love them. They are just very bright.
Big ones, right?
The big green ones. Yes, the big green ones. Okay. So now what's your favorite part then? Do you have a favorite part in the story? Yes, which part do you like best in the story?
The frog put all the water into the river.
Okay, then when he put all the water into the river, back into the river. Yes, when he put all the water back into the river. Yes, that was a good part, right? So that they all got to drink water. Okay.
Yes, I also have some interesting facts to share with them about frogs. Shall I?
Lovely. Yes, please go
So
ahead.
at the meantime, they can start drawing, right? They are most
Yes.
interesting.
Yes, children.
Story.
Now you all can start drawing your picture. I hope you have your crayons and your colors ready. So you can draw any favorite part from the story. Okay. So from the story, anything that you like about the story, you can draw on paper.
With book.
Not a book, darling. You can have a A4 paper. You can have a paper and then draw a picture. Okay.
Okay, so while you are drawing, I will share some interesting facts about frogs. Okay, so Look at this frog. Isn't it like a colorful one? See the colors, right? Can you
Very
see my
colorful.
screen, right?
Yes, Auntie, we can.
Okay. So do you know the frogs? They are amphibians. Do you know what are amphibians? Any idea? Anyone knows amphibian? In Sinhala we call Ubaya Jeevin. Do you know?
They can live in both water and land.
Very good, of course. So the frogs, they are the only living organisms who can live both in water and land. So they have adaptations to live in water as well as in lands. So now so that's why it's called amphibian. Amphibian, you know, like there is a machine called amphibious, because that machine can work in the land, it can drive in the land as well as in the water. So because of the frogs, it acts as a frog, so we call it that machine as amphibious. Okay, so now this is the life cycle of a frog. Have you seen frog eggs? Anybody have seen frog eggs? Maybe in water or sometimes in the trees also. See, tree frogs, they lay eggs on the leaves. Hello?
Yeah, Auntie, we can hear you. Yes.
Auntie, so Auntie, now have you seen frogs' eggs?
I think I have. They are kind of like foam, like
Kind of like a, yes, form, like a white color form, like a,
yeah,
because at once they lay eggs like 1,000 eggs.
yeah.
So yes, so and from the eggs, a little tadpole come out, and inside the water, you might have seen the tadpoles, right?
Yes, Auntie. Yes, I have seen the tadpoles with the tail, right?
Yeah. So with the time, that tadpoles, they start to grow. So first they start to grow 2 legs, then 4 legs. Likewise, they become a small frog. So then finally it becomes an adult frog. So this is the life cycle of a frog. And also, have you known that frogs have ears? So can you see? Yeah, behind their eyes, just behind their eyes in here. So they have their ears, because they shout, right? So the others, that is how they communicate, by shouting. So the frogs have ears to get the sound waves. And also, it's very interesting thing that frogs, their skin is very smooth. They have a very soft skin, and they can breathe through their skin.
Is that why that's wet, Auntie? I think
Yeah, that is the reason
it's
yes. And also their skin is very, most of the frogs, they have very thin and soft skin. So they, yes.
My drawing?
So you drew it now, just now?
No.
I think that is the crane story, right?
Crane story, right? Yes, that's nice. Please send us that, okay? And also, okay. So do you know that every frog that we see, they're not frogs. Some are toads, some are frogs. In Sinhala, we call Madian saha Gembat.
Okay.
Okay. So the toads, there are some small differences between these two groups. Okay. So let's see what are they. So toads, they warty-looking, but frogs, they sleek and smooth. So next time, if you see a frog, amphibian, see whether it's a toad or a frog. So toads, their skin is so dry, and you can see in this picture, they have like little lumps and bumps. But in frogs, their skin is so watery, sleek, and wet looking, very smooth. Okay? It's because toads, they live, mostly they live in lands, in dry condition. But frogs, they rarely seen too far away from water. So if you see amphibian very closer to the water bodies, always live with the water, so that most probably it can be a frog. Okay. And also, toads, they have shorter legs and prefer to crawl around rather than hopping. But frogs, they have a very long legs because they prefer for hopping. It's so long legs they have for hopping. So these are some slight differences between toads and the frog. So next time when you see this animal, try to see whether it's a frog or a toad. And also, so do you know, Auntie, I remember like you were talking about the size of this frog in the story, right?
Yes, Auntie. Yes.
So this is the world's largest frog. But
Wow.
unfortunately, we don't find them in Sri Lanka. They live in, it's called Goliath frog. It's a very huge, can you see, like compared to the man's hand, how much
My
big it is?
goodness. Yes.
Yeah, so it's a 32 centimeter length and it can weigh up to 3.25 kilograms. See, imagine how big it is.
Wow.
So they live in a very small habitat in Cameroon. So here, this red color country is called Cameroon. It's in West Africa. And can you see a small country here? Like it's called Equatorial Guinea. So just below, right below the Cameroon, there is a small square-shaped country. So this frog is found only in these two countries, Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea. So the world's largest frog. And do you know the world's most poisonous frog? See how beautiful they are.
Wow. It looks very beautiful, Auntie. Feels like touching it. When you see it, you feel like
Of
picking it
course,
up.
I think because they are poisonous, they looks very attractive, right?
Hmm.
So it's the group of frogs. It's called poisonous dart frogs. There are different kinds of different color patterns. Okay, it's a group, and they live in Amazon forest in South Central and South America. They are very attractive, very colorful. So they are the most poisonous frogs in the world. And also I'll talk about little bit about amphibians in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka is very popular for having a rich amphibian diversity. So amphibians in Sri Lanka, we have around 120 species of amphibians, and importantly, 90 species are only in Sri Lanka. Okay, so Sri Lanka has the highest endemic frogs in among all Asian continent. So see, Sri Lanka, even because, do you know, Auntie, why? The reason we have a lot of frogs in here, endemic species.
No idea, Auntie. No
Kids,
idea.
can you think about why we do have a lot of frog species in Sri Lanka?
Because there's a lot of water.
Yes, exactly. We have a lot of water, wetlands, rainforests. That is the reason. Okay. So why frogs are important? So this is the most important thing. What do you think? What do the frogs eat?
Insects.
Yes,
Insects.
they mainly eat insects, especially. So they are very important to control mosquitoes in our environment. Okay. And so they are very helpful, beneficial for human. And also they are they are a key food source for many large animals like birds, snakes. So they are very important animal in a food web. And also, this might be very new thing for you. Frogs are bioindicators. Do you know what is
Does that mean,
bioindicator?
Auntie? What does that mean?
Okay, bioindicator means, Auntie, if there is something happen in the environment, any disturbances, frogs are they signaling it very first. Because I told you their skin is very, very soft. So they absorb a lot of things. So when there are a lot of chemicals in the water or maybe in the air, so those chemicals very easily go inside the frog's body. So so that's why they are indicating when there is a change in the environment, pollution, whatever happens, frogs are the first kind of animal signaling that first.
Oh, okay.
So that's why frogs are, we call it as indicators. So they are biological indicators. Okay.
So if we can't see many frogs in an environment, then that's a problem, right?
That's a problem. That means that there is some problem in that environment, maybe a pollution or whatever, air pollution, water pollution. So that's why, so there are a lot of frogs in an environment. That means that environment is good. So how can we save frogs then? Kids, how can you save frogs?
Yes,
So
any idea?
yeah, so we should minimize adding chemicals to the environment like pesticides, other chemicals to the water, to the land. Okay, because I told you polythene, very good. Okay, yes. And also we should protect their habitats, their homes. So they love to stay in a places with like covered with litter or like moist spaces, okay, watery hidden spaces. So in your garden, you can create such kind of a places for them to hide and to live. And also you can make small garden ponds for them to lay eggs, and also water holes and And also when there are tadpoles, there is no mosquitoes also. So you don't want to worry about the spreading the dengue mosquitoes and all. And also protect wetlands. So this is what I want to share with our kids. Okay. So frogs are very important animals in our environment and we have to protect them.
Okay, that's a lot of information, Auntie. Thank you very much. That's lovely.
Yes. And also they can share their frog stories with us. Aren't they, Auntie?
Yes, of course, they can. I think some of them have already drawn the pictures as well. So have you all, there, I think Kavindul has finished drawing. Let's take a look. Kavindul, yes, can you tell us about your picture? What have you drawn here?
This is the frog and this is the eel.
Okay. And
And
that
this is-
brown thing there is the billabong,
Yeah.
all dried up.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I think the frog is about to laugh when the eel ties himself into a knot. Yes?
That's nice, right?
That's nice.
I like that
that's
frog.
lovely. Yes, that's a lovely frog. Okay. So others also can keep drawing. Okay. We would like to see some more drawings. That's a nice eel. Very good, Kavindul. Okay. Now, do you have any experience to share about the frogs, children? Yes. Now there was now in one of the places I've been, there was this big toad, Auntie. I actually thought it was a frog, but then now when you told that, I realized that it's a toad, right? So it had all these lumps and bumps on its body, and it was quite big, about this much, and it was always like, you know, near the door. It used to stay near the door outside, and it's just, you know, like a big stone. It was there. It was like brown and all that. So that is a toad, I suppose, because there was no, it was, I mean, it was in the garden, quite dry place. So it used to stay there all the time, like very quietly. I think it was waiting for some prey.
Prey, yeah. So usually we find toads, the ones we find in our garden or maybe inside the house. Sometimes those are toads. If these are that big green one, that's a frog.
Yes, yes. Oh, I think Onali has finished drawing too. Do I see a kookaburra there? Oh, that's lovely.
Very lovely kookaburra.
Very nice, Onali. I would like to see it colored. You're going to color it.
I'm not finished yet also.
Ah, okay. That's very nice. That's a lovely drawing. Very nice. So please share it with us when you have finished coloring, okay? That's lovely. Who else is drawing? You all can turn your cameras on to show us.
Do you have toads or frogs in your garden, or maybe if you have a well in your garden? Do you have any frogs or toads in your backyard or in your garden?
Anyone? Yes? Or do you have any frog stories to share with aunties? Maybe you know some other frog stories. Yes, Liansa?
I one day saw in a bathroom on a tree frog.
A tree frog. Wow. Okay. What color was it, Liansa?
I only see her face.
Okay.
Was it a big one or a small one? Usually tree frogs are small, very small, because they have to jump.
Yeah. Was it a small one, Liansa?
Yes.
They're small and thin, right? Yes. And next time, if you see, happen to see a tree frog, look at the fingers and toes. Okay. So end of the fingers and toes, they have a kind of small, big kind of like a pad that is to, like grab the branches.
Ah, okay. To hold on to the branches. They have those small kind of blob kind of thing at the end of their toes. Oh, okay.
Their body size, compared to their body size, those kind of like ends, their finger ends are very big. That is
Teacher, it is like this. Teacher.
Yes, exactly. Yes, who is talking? Sorry.
Yes, Onali. I think Onali is trying to say something.
Okay.
I forgot the frog.
You forgot to put the, draw the frog. Now you have done it. Okay, nice.
Nice. Very
lovely.
nice.
That's very nice. Okay, so
I
you
think
can
it's a
color
frog.
it, yeah?
It's not a toad. It has a long limb, so it's a frog, I think.
It's the frog, yes. Now in our story, we have a frog, right, Auntie?
Yes.
Like the frog, it goes as the frog, yes.
And look at Auntie, your background. They also have like long limbs, right?
Yes, they do.
Swim, to hop.
Okay. Let me just... Can you all see, children? Can you all see? And they have quite long limbs, don't they?
Mm.
The video is I also drew some flower. I only drew one flower. So
Okay,
So many.
all right. So what else? What else?
I think that the frog in the auntie's background trying to catch a dragonfly, right?
Yes. Do they eat dragonflies too, Auntie?
They do eat dragonflies as well. So
okay.
that's why they are very important in the food chain. So frogs are very important in food chains.
All right. So can we see some more, pictures? Have you all drawn some more pictures?
now I drew 2 flowers.
You drew 2 flowers. Okay, you can color it. Okay, then
Yes,
you can
it's
see
too
find the picture. Oh, Dinudi has drawn something too. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice, Dinudi. That's very nice. Lovely. So can you tell us about your picture? What have you drawn here? Yes? You're muted, darling. Can you unmute?
The frog is spreading water from his mouth.
Ah, okay. And
That's
yes,
Is tight.
eel is tied into a knot.
Yes.
Yes, very nice. Lovely.
So auntie, in today's story, you talked about many wetland animals, right? Not only
Yes,
frogs,
actually.
eels.
Yes, there was an eel as well. Actually, Auntie, it is an Aboriginal story from Australia. So there were a lot of animals native to Australia, endemic to Australia in that story. Like I think echidna. Echidna is native to Australia, and also kookaburra,
Kookaburra, a lot of so.
wombat, those
Teacher.
animals. Yes, yes, Kavinder.
I have an art box.
You have
Art box.
art box. Oh, that's nice. So that's what you used to draw all the pictures.
Oh, it's a Halloween.
Very nice. Oh, that's nice. So you keep drawing pictures, right? That's under the sea, I guess.
Okay, so that's art box is your collection, right?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
I have my cat.
Oh, wow. What's that, Kavinder? That's a butterfly.
No, it's a giraffe.
Ah, okay. It's a giraffe. Okay.
This is full of art.
My goodness. I'm sure there's quite a few from our stories as well inside your art box. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I think Vinod has finished drawing. Let's take a look. Oh, that's lovely, Vinod. Can you tell us about your picture? You can unmute and tell us what you have drawn. Yes, what is it? It's a kookaburra. I think it's the kookaburra. Is it the kookaburra? Yeah. Yes, very
Kookaburra is the
good.
most exciting animal in today's story, right?
Yeah, because it has very fun. Yes, Auntie?
Yeah, and I think it's because you made Kookaburra's call, and so that's a
Yes, it has a very fun call and it's quite loud, it seems,
Yes.
that you can hear it, from far away. Oh, there's a frog, Auntie.
yes.
Is that a frog or a snake?
No, frog eating a dragonfly, isn't it?
Oh, wow. Okay. See? Wow, that's nice, Kavinder.
That's really nice.
So can you tell us how you made it so others also can make one of those? How did you make that, Kavinder?
First, we need to cut this like this, then put a rubber band, then put a red paper like this and put a fly here.
Oh, wow.
Very creative.
Yes. And you have made it with a paper plate, right? The frog face is made with a paper plate.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Mavidul is sharing his entire art box with us
Art
today.
box.
And he has a lot of creative things inside that. Very nice. Okay, let's see some pictures. Yes. Who else has finished drawing? Okay. Now, Auntie, were there any frogs in Japan?
There are, especially in the summer, because that's the rainy season. So
Okay.
the frogs, they come out and we can see the frogs in the summer, but not, I have not seen the frogs in the winter or the spring. So because a lot of animals are coming out in the summer.
Okay.
Teacher,
Yes, Sonali.
see my drawing.
Okay.
So Auntie, what's about now at the same, okay, children, first I want to tell you, so please send us your pictures, okay? So we will put them in our Facebook page. So please complete your pictures and like color it and send us with your name and your age. And so Auntie, what about next week, not next month, next session?
Okay, now we have covered so many wetland animals, Auntie, right? Now we
Yes.
covered the crane. What else did we do? We did about the frogs
We did
this week.
snake, water snake,
Yes,
and,
water snake.
fishing cat,
Yes, fishing cat and
butterfly.
and the dragonfly.
And how about the fish, Auntie? Did we
I
do
was
about-
just thinking the same, Auntie.
Yes.
Like you read my mind. How about the fish?
Yes, I
I think
think
it's time we talked about the fish.
fish.
Yes. Okay, so
Because
then
we
next
have
week
talked about mammals, insects,
I like the fish.
and amphibian snakes. So we have not talked about fish yet. So let's,
Yes.
I think it's a good idea.
It's a good
I
idea.
like fish.
You like
I
fish?
love fish.
Do you like to learn about fish or do you like to eat fish?
I like to learn about fish.
Oh, okay, very good. Then you have to join next week because we are going to bring a story about fish and then we are going to talk about a lot of fish too. So read a little bit more, children, then you can share, your knowledge also with us. Okay, right? So now since you know what we are going to talk about, so just find more information about them when you come to the next session. Okay? So
They
think
might
about
already have fish tanks in their home.
Yes, does anyone have a fish tank in their home? Yes. Dinudi has. I think Dinudi is going to show it to us. Oh, wait, Dinudi, hold on. Okay, let's take a look at Dinudi's fish tank.
Big fish.
Wow. Okay, Dinudi has a fish tank. You can see the fish there. Very nice.
And also, Auntie, shall we tell about our storybook, right? So we asked them to make a wetland animal book.
Yes, Auntie. Now I hope everyone is working on your journal.
Yes, journal.
Yes. Yes, everyone is working on your journal. So if you have not yet started, I think you can start working on it, right? Now you can start, if you have, if you joined today or if you had not started on it yet. Okay, now a journal, good question. A journal it's kind of a record. Now every month, Dinudi, we were actually bringing a lot of stories to you all. So, and we talk about a specific wetland animal. So a journal is, you can paste a picture of that animal or you can draw a picture of that animal and then you can write information about it. Now, Auntie Chaitika, every month she shares a lot of information about that particular wetland animal. So you can keep a record of it. And also if you saw that animal somewhere, you can keep a record of that as well. So it's kind of a record that you maintain about the animals that we speak about in this program. Okay, so at the end of these sessions, at the end of this year, you will have, if you recorded all these things in your journal, you will have a nice booklet with a lot of information, lot of pictures about the wetland animals in Sri Lanka. Okay, So that's what a journal is. It's like a small booklet where you keep records of the animals that you have seen. Okay. So I hope everyone has, everyone has thought about it, and then you are working on it, because by the end, we will be able to take a look at it, Auntie. Don't you think?
Yeah. So they can write the information that they find from maybe Google, or they hear
Yes.
from others, or they can paste their pictures, right? If they see those animals.
Yes. So that
And-
whatever you observe, yes? Yes,
And
Auntie.
also they can share with the others also, right? Because then we all can learn from each other.
Exactly. Yes. So make it more like a learning experience as well, children. Now, since we have been doing this for a while, right? Now, you know that it's not only the story, right? Now, the story is something that introduces you to the animal, right? But the most important thing is now what Auntie Chetika is trying to do with the organization is to help to preserve these animals, help to conserve them, right? And to educate you all so that you will be more concerned about the nature and nature in your area, right? So that you can be a part of that conservation effort. Okay. So one way is keep these things in a record, and record these things, find information, and also share the knowledge, right? Now, I'm sure that you have a lot of friends in school, so you can go and show your journal to your friends and your class teacher. And I'm sure that
I'm
they
going
will
to
love
be a
it.
scientist.
There, yes. So these can be the first steps, to achieve that goal, to go for that dream, right? So you can go and share this journal with your class teacher, with your friends, and then they will also get to know about these animals, and they will also start to make a journal sometimes, right? It will create an interest in them. So spread the word, right? So share the knowledge. That's what we are trying to do. Okay.
And also, Auntie, I want our children to think at the same time when you're preparing your journal. So you are writing about each and every animal like we are talking here. So try to think, what can you do by yourself to protect these animals, right? Small things, simple things maybe. So think about them, and also you can write down.
Yes,
Then
exactly.
one day let's talk. Let's put a session at the end to talk about. So to share everyone's ideas, what can we do to protect these animals, wetlands?
Yes, that would be lovely, Aunt. Yes. So actually now you might think that you are very small, what can I do? But actually you can do a lot, right? You all can do a lot to preserve these animals. Okay. So is there anyone who has started on a journal? Anyone? Now I think some are not here today. There are some, yes. We don't see some of the regular faces today. I think they are on holiday or something. I think that there are quite a few who are working on a journal, Auntie. Can you remember last time a couple of them showed us the journals? So others, you all also can start. Now, if you go back in Auntie's FB posts, you can see all the animals that we have talked about. So if you were not present at in those sessions, you can actually find information about them yourselves and then include those into your journals. Okay.
And also, Auntie, all our sessions that we have done so far, they are in our Lavatory Foundation YouTube channel.
Okay. Now that's lovely. So those who missed any of the sessions, you all can go and watch those. That's a lovely idea.
In your free time, you can listen to those stories and get to know about the information about those animals. So then you can start working on your journals.
Yes, that's very good. That's very good. So you all can now, some of you all are on holiday. So I think make this your holiday project.
Yes.
Right? You can make this your holiday assignment. And once the school started, you can go and show it to your class teacher and your friends as well. Right? And also motivate them. You can encourage them also to be like you, to learn about these wonderful animals that we have and we know very little of. Right?
So shall we ask everyone to show your picture, like drawings? You don't need to complete them, just to take a picture.
Yeah, can everyone, those who are here, turn your cameras on and show your picture so that Auntie can take a picture? Hold your drawings, children. Hold your drawings to the camera. Vinod, You also had a nice picture. Where is it? Okay, lovely. Vinod, go and get your picture quickly. Come on. Hold it to the camera.
Okay, hold it to the camera. I'll take a picture. Nice. Thank you, everyone.
Very good.
Yeah, Auntie,
Okay,
so
thank you, children. Yeah, Auntie.
do you have anything to share, or children, do you have anything? We have like 4 minutes.
Mhm.
Do you have
You
any
have any
stories,
questions?
anything? Yes, to share with us?
Or anything else that you would like to know about frogs? I'm sure Auntie Chetika will, give answers to those questions. If you all have any questions to ask, anything to show or about frogs, or anything that you would like to share about them, you can do so now. Yes.
Yes, so you can read more about frogs in Sri Lanka as well as in the world, interesting facts. Are there any threats to the frogs? There are actually, there are many threats to the frogs. So you saw that how frogs are important for us and as well as for our environment. So try to read about more information about frogs. So Auntie, if there is no other questions, so shall we wind off then?
Yeah, Auntie. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So children, thank you so much.
Bye, teacher.
Yes. Yes, Sonali.
I did not understand what is a journal.
Okay, Auntie, can you explain the journal again?
Okay. So a journal is a small booklet, right, where you keep a record of the animals that we discussed in the Wetland Tales series, right? Okay. Now, if you have not started on a journal yet, what you can do is, like Auntie said, you can go to Lavatory Foundation YouTube channel and then watch the stories. You can watch all the stories from the beginning, and in each story, we have in each session we have discussed about a particular wetland animal. Okay, so and each session Auntie Chetika has shared a lot of information about that particular animal. Okay, like today, for an example, today we told a story about frogs, and Auntie Chetika explained about frogs. She gave you a lot of information about frogs. So like that, you can then have a page dedicated for the frog. So you can draw a picture of a frog and then you can write information. You can actually do a little bit more reading, and it's kind of a record that you keep about that animal. And also you can include whether you have seen that frog, whether you have seen that animal and where you have seen that animal, and information. It's basically you are gathering information about that animal and keep a record of it. So at the end of these sessions, you will then have a very nice booklet with a lot of information about a lot of wetland animals. Okay? And after that, you can share it with us. You can share it with your friends, your class teacher. Okay, so that's what a journal is. Okay. So when scientists and when those professors and scientists they always carry a journal, don't they, Auntie? So
Yes,
that they can keep a record of.
Yeah. So they always record everything. Yes, Sonali.
The way I understood was just to write down how we can save animals.
No, not just how to save the animal. So you can write what do they look like, what are the differences. Now today Auntie told you about the differences between the toads and the frogs, how to identify them, right? And what different types are there, and what do they eat, what are the habitats that you can find them in, right? And what are the threats that you have to those animals, and how to conserve them. So you can organize it like that. Okay. Right? Next time we'll try to show you some pictures of a real journal, Auntie. So then you can get a better idea, right? So sometimes, yes, seems like it might be a little confusing for you when we just say it. Let us show you what a real journal looks like. So then you can have a better idea about it. Okay? Right, Tonali? I'm sure that I think you have a mind to work on a journal. Yes?
Yes. So let us show you some examples of like how to make a journal, keep a journal. record. So we'll show you on next session. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So Auntie
Okay.
Naoda, thank you so much for this interesting story, and we learned a lot of unique animals live in Australia, right? And it was very fun to see their calls and their behaviors. And so thank you so much.
You're
for this
most welcome, Auntie.
yeah.
And thank you for sharing all the knowledge. I learned a lot about frogs today.
Yeah, and it's my pleasure. And thank you, children, for joining us. And I also hope to see you again on next month, September, with another amazing folk tale about fish. Okay.
Okay, quite excited. Okay.
So until that, so then bye. Have a nice Sunday and stay safe.